Hey, Wayne D here. Going to take a look at Jeff Overton's swing. Played real well this week. First, let's start with a little bit of Peter Kostis giving his analysis of Overton's swing. So let's get that started here.
Take it away. Well, the thing with Jeff Overton, pay attention to the visor on his cap. Keep a note of the levelness of his head. When he gets going, he gets dropping it a lot. Good full turn away. A lot of activity in the lower body. Watch the head as it starts to drop. Now he has to really fix things at the bottom with his hands. That's where he gets his flash speed and distance from. If he could just stay a little bit more level with his upper body, he wouldn't be a streaky player. He'd just be a good, solid player.
All right, so there you go. He wouldn't be a streaky player if he didn't drop his head so much. So if you've ever watched any videos that I've done, you'll know that I'm all in favor of the head dropping. So let's take a peek at what's going on here with his head. This camera stayed pretty still. So in the backswing, right at the beginning, it stays pretty level in the takeaway. And now as the right hip pulls back and gains a little bit of depth, you'll see the head drop. So a pretty standard amount of drop in the backswing. And then in the forward swing, again, great compression into the ground. You'll see the head drop. Now most players will drop to about here. Like if you look at Tiger, he's going to have that kind of progression as far as lowering. Overton's going to get down there even more. Now he's a pretty tall guy, but when he does it, look how nicely the right forearm lines up at the ball and the shaft's in great position there. So his head goes down another degree here, stays there through impact, and then comes up afterward. So as you heard Peter say, a lot of activity in the lower body. I don't see that. That just looks pretty normal to me. And then at impact, said he's going to have a lot of fixing to do down here. Well, he's got pretty much perfect positioning there. And as the handle goes up and around, you can see the club stay right on plane. So he's not, whatever he's doing, he's fixing it pretty good. Look at another player who was actually pretty good in his day, Byron Nelson. We're going to mark the top of Byron's head here. We're going to see what happens. So once again, you'll see it stay level in the takeaway and in the full backswing. So his head will stay level and almost pop up a little bit in the mid backswing. And let's watch now. Ooh, look at that thing. All right, so looks like Byron Nelson's got a lot of fixing to do down here at the bottom since his head drops so much. And again, stays down there through the ball and then back up again. So we could go on and on here when I go through some of these swings and we watch the nature of the head movement. There's Hogan at the British Open. You can see it descend and then descend again and then up through impact. So when we watch Overton swing, we're seeing something that is readily apparent in just about all good players. I wish somebody would send the guys at CBS one of my videos, or maybe all of them, because what you're going to see throughout all the guys is one way or another the head's going to lower, sometimes just in the backswing, sometimes just in the forward swing, and a lot of times both. So there's Overton again. Now again, if you're looking at one of the keys that I focus on in a golf swing is the ability to get the right forearm down onto the plane as the club gets parallel to the ground. Great footwork there, and just a great approach. So in my mind, that's the simplest way to get the wrists to function through impact, is to return the club back to the shaft plane. So you can see this is pretty close. His hands are a little low at address, so he's not quite dead perfect, but pretty darn close to getting that thing right dead back on the shaft plane. In fact, it doesn't really get much better than that. Now, I don't have a side view of his swing, but as we look at a driver swing, just really nice wrist and arm position at the top. And contrary to what Kostis was saying, I think his leg movement is actually, if you look at the amount of hip turn here, there's not a whole ton of it. And as far as, I don't know what he's talking about with this flash speed thing, but he's just down there in great position. Nice upward thrust with the lower body. You can see him driving the right foot off the ground, left leg snapping. Just a all-around nice aggressive swing. I mean, he's only hitting the ball like 320 in the air and in the fairway, so I would take this any day. But again, these guys need to start to look at some of these swings, because you see head dropping over and over again all the time. So even if we look at the other real well, Justin Rose, you're going to see the head drop in the backswing, especially with the iron. Maybe a little less here, but even here, if you watch top of the head, so you'll see a few inches of it there. Now Rose is a little different because he'll come right up, and this is pretty much classic Ledbetter. You'll see it the same thing in Ells' swing, is the elevation right into the downswing and the lengthening of the right arm. But again, there's another guy with beautiful right forearm plane heading into the ball. And again, compression in the middle is what's causing that lowering. It's the lower body going, the midsection going back, that causes the thing to lower. So anyway, good playing for Jeff Overton, and again, I wish some of these guys would study the swings a little more, so we quit having to listen to the discussion of the head dip.